It's a difficult question and an easy question at the same time. The way I know Sean is on such a personal level that sometimes it's always hard to like visualize the person you know so close doing such extraordinary things. Um, but from the first time I met him, I knew he was an extraordinary person, and he had such great qualities as a human being. And I think that his main thing he brings to the job will be his compassion. He has such a compassion and understanding for people, and treats everyone the same no matter what their education or experience or income levels. And I think that will help create a situation where he's really focused on creating a power base with people who don't have it. And I think that's what will make him a good AG, that he will focus on all people, not just rich and powerful people, but all people. Well, I think a quality that I've known in Sean since the day I met him was this compassion that he has for ordinary people. And he is not only interested in powerful and rich people. He really cares deeply about people who've had lives less fortunate than his or ours. And I think that compassion will be an extraordinary thing for him as Attorney General, an extraordinary thing for the people of New York State. That he will be focused on giving power to people who perhaps haven't had it their entire lives. And so it will equal the playing field a little bit in the AG's office. The great thing for me with Sean is that he hasn't changed in certain respects. He doesn't have a huge ego, even though, he's had important jobs in the law firm and in the White House and running a company. He never let his ego get out of check. And so in many ways, to me, he's the same person that I met initially. And I think that's what I like most about him, is that he's very grounded and not superficial. And, I think that makes him a better person, because it would be very easy to get caught up in the power. I think he's always in it for the right reasons. And he truly wants to do this job. And that's important. I mean, it's really important.
How is this going to impact your life?
I mean, it impacts our lives in the respect that many things you do are public, and you're exposed more to the general public than you would be as just private citizens, or whatever you want to say. My big concern kind of about this race and this campaign is not that exposure. My fear is that because Sean is doing this extraordinary thing, that people will have a tendency to put us or him on a pedestal and forget that we are human beings with real flaws, and we are not perfect, and we have not led perfect lives. And, we do the best we can. We come to the table with what we know, and we try as hard as we can every day, but it doesn't make us perfect. And that is a fear of mine, that people will be like, wow, aren't these guys great? And it's a real danger, because, Sean's in it for the right reasons and doing it for the right reasons. And it is not to be fabulous and to be, he's doing it for ordinary people. And we are just ordinary people, and we have those kind of misgivings of ordinary people. We're not perfect. It's about balance and priorities, and it's about quality of time and not quantity of time. When he worked in the White House for 3.5 years or whatever, we didn't see each other a ton, but we had this kind of rule, and I have to say, this was advice we got from somebody else who had had a long-distance relationship. Don't try and make those weekends and that time you're together extraordinary. Make it normal. And therefore you relieve that pressure that you tend to, I think human nature is, when you're not seeing somebody a lot, that you want the moments you're together to be precious. And you know what? Sit and just watch TV and do normal things, and you don't feel the same pressure. And so I think that's how we handled the long distance relationship, and also how we handle this. We have very busy schedules, and both of us, and very busy lives, and balancing 3 children and schools and all the things that come with that. But we also find ourselves with great amount of time where we're just isolated together. And it seems just so very normal, like there's nothing going on the outside. And I think that's important. It's important to keep that kind of core structure, because it helps keep everything else focused and in perspective. Sean, as a parent, I mean, I think that we have a great balance as parents. I think he is definitely, I'm sure if you ask the children, he's the fun parent. He is. He's really a really good guy. And he loves to do things with the children that are fun, especially Jesus. Going to ball games, movies. They like the same kind of movies. I don't like the same kind of movies they like. They're really into adventure, thrillers, kind of scary movies. Not my cup of tea. And so Sean has been able, as a parent, to carve out a niche with each one of the children that is really their relationship and their time and their focus. And I think as a parent that's important, especially when you're busy, that child knows they can depend on you for a certain aspect in their lives. That, everybody as a child balances when they have 2 parents. They know what they're going to get out of one and out of the other, and they play each other off the other. I think our children know clearly what Sean's good for and what I'm good for. And I think he is an extraordinary example of being a good parent. Just how he lives his life, with integrity and honesty and openness and hard work. Like, I think that, the flip side of not being around a lot is that your children see that you're a hard worker and you're out there doing it. And that's a great example at the same time. You may miss out on a dinner or two, but at the same time, they know you're out there and you're doing it partly and a lot for them. What do I like best about him? He puts up with me. I mean, that's a really tough thing. I'm not easy. I'm brutally honest, and I'm a hard person to be with, and he puts up with me, and so that's an enduring quality. What I like about him most is his vision of his journey, that we both want to go somewhere, we want to do things, we have very different approaches about it, and he doesn't judge my approach as less than his, or, it's just different. In the end, we have the same kind of goals, and I love the fact that he wants to kind of maximize his potential as a human being, and feels that by maximizing his own potential, he can help others along the way. And I think that's extraordinary, because so many people live for themselves. In the society we live in, there's a lot of people who really it's about what they have and about their own thing. And Sean has an extraordinary ability to put others ahead of himself, and I think that's a great quality.